Today, my friends, we're going on a tour of Napoleon's mother's chateau on Lake Constance. Here we are. This is a tree. This is not her residence. Look at this beautiful old Weihrauch cedar. Isn't that wonderful? There's Lake Constance there in the background, and it was a wonderful day. Beautiful weather. This is Queen Hortense with Boney there, and she actually had this place built in 1817 after Napoleon's defeat in 1815. She tried to stay in Paris, but she had to leave. There were rumblings, my dear, rumblings. And there is the house in 1922. And here is the house as it is today. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, right on the lake. I mean, you couldn't ask for any better, could you, really? So here we are, going up to the house. By the way, she lived here for the rest of her life, composing music, died a horrible, agonizing death of womb cancer at the age of 54. Oh my goodness, and they didn't really have the medication to sort of quell the pain back then, did they? So they had this special bed made for her, and damn, I couldn't film it. The guide that was in there's this woman, really bad energy she had. She caught me just as I was starting to film, but she was keeping an eye on me. I should have followed my instincts and started filming upstairs and worked my way down, so I could have got a lot of footage before she caught me. But unfortunately, they're really paranoid. They don't want you filming and putting it on the internet because they want you to pay. They want you to come and pay. There's no other reason for it. And look at that, isn't that fantastic? Imagine living there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so she had a beautiful time here. She died relatively young, unfortunately. But she did enjoy that. She wasn't living in squalor. But I do not envy her death. Oh my goodness. So this is where... This is coming up to where I got caught, actually. Yeah, I don't know. She just wasn't friendly and suspicious and paranoid. Anyway, her suspicions were right because I was trying to film. I didn't know that it was against the rules. But anyway, I did find some images on the internet, which I will show you. Somebody has made some photographs, and I can show you there. But unfortunately, I didn't get the bed design, but I will show you what I mean and explain how the bed operated. So here, I was just filming here too. I managed to get away with that. This video precedes the one you've just seen, actually, and then I got caught. Gorgeous though, isn't it? Sorry, no, this is her bedroom, designed like a Bedouin tent. That was her bedroom. I snuck a film of her bedroom upstairs, and I could hear her clattering on the stairs coming up. And there's a little chapel there on the grounds. Look at that, cheese butter. Wonderful Swiss cheese butter. Yeah, this is a photo of the bedroom. Can you see on the bottom right, and I'm going to zoom in, there's rails under the bed. This was so that her nurses could pull the bed out and sort of, get to her from every angle to administer to her needs as she was dying. And you can see there's a praying girl above her. This was hanging above her bed when she was dying. Gorgeous room though, designed like a tent, as I mentioned previously, with a canopied roof. Isn't that sweet? Gorgeous colors. At least she had a wonderful place to depart the physical in that room. And there's another angle of the room. And we will now go and have a look at more photos of it on the internet. This page is by Dominique Gell. This is his photos taken of the Napoleon Museum in Saalenstein, located in Schloss Arenenberg. Schloss means castle or chateau. I thought she actually had it built. It was built in the beginning of the 16th century, or it must have been massively modified, was bought in 1817 by Hortense de Beauharnais, daughter of Empress Josephine, first wife of Napoleon I and wife of Napoleon's brother Louis. So it was completely remodeled, I thought so, under the direction of architect Johann Baptist Wehle. So here we have the house, as we've just seen in my video, and a statue there. of somebody. So let's have a look. So this is the room that I just showed you. This is her bedroom, her tented salon. Here we have a larger picture of the entrance to her bedroom. Isn't that wonderful with the curtains there, resembling the tent flaps, and the canopied roof. The view over Lake Constance from her room. For those who like a bit of snooker. Oh, it's actually the French version. You see, they don't have pockets. Yeah, I don't really understand the rules. A friend of mine has it over here. But this is the French version. What's the point of a table without pockets? And here we have the spiral staircase, which you're not allowed to use. Wonderful. I think this was actually Napoleon's study/office when he came to stay. Sorry, the format is a bit... When he's using vertical format, my rectangle screen is not accommodating the full photo. Yeah, that's the bed that she died in. No, it's not. This is another bed. Sorry, the background hasn't got the painting. But look how small the beds were. Either this is a child's bed or they were very small people. That's the chapel. Outside. This is directly outside of the chateau. Here another view of the chateau. This of the little capella, the chapel. This is the doorway leading in. Another shot. I think we have it there. Do we have any more? I think that's it. So we've seen that. Well, yeah, that's that. And here we have another site, which is basically the same, I think. But that's a gorgeous view, isn't it? The aerial view of the castle over Lake Constance. I think this is her, when they call it the salon. So she had the salon, and I think she had an adjoining bedroom, because even her, she had a, what would you call it? She was like a sort of private nurse companion. Yeah, she was a sort of private nurse / companion, and she had her own suite of rooms adjoining Queen Hortense's salon. So she lived in really quite luxury too, the companion, and the companion stayed with her until her death. And there we have that gorgeous, look at the gardens, my God. The rich live very nicely. Anyway, that's that. We will now continue on with our travels. By the way, there is going to be a junk store tour. Do not worry, for those who love junk antiques. We are always on the lookout for people's trash that might be treasure. I do have one of those included, fear not. So this is in downtown Zurich. This used to be an old sort of factory, and they've converted it into a bar. Isn't that fantastic? It looks sort of all grotty and industrial. I do like that. I thought we'd have a quick peek in. It's not really open yet, but they had the door open because it's warm. I had actually came down here to look for some junk stores, but that's another story. So there we have it. It's got a lot of space, isn't it? It's got the old sort of school chairs, or old sort of inn chairs. And there was a strong smell of marijuana emanating. So let me just quickly pause this while I explain where we are. So this is downtown Zurich, and this is the poorer end of Zurich that I haven't shown you before. This is where all the young people and the bohemians live and congregate. And there are two junk stores right in this vicinity. I didn't film them, although I came down to, because they were full of absolute rubbish. Nothing worth filming. I am sorry, but I have found a better place. Don't worry about that. I was very disappointed. Yeah, as you can imagine, this place has been scavenged. Anything that's good is gone. It was basically just like second-hand clothes, like vintage clothes and records and stuff. So nothing that would interest we aficionados of antiques and junk. Anyway, back to the video. This poster was also in the bar. It says, Die Not hat ein Ende. It means the misery or the hardship has an end. It's coming to an end. Especially after a hard day's work, when you go into this bar, have a big glass of beer and a big fat joint. The misery will soon evaporate. So this is a photo cabin from the 1970s. You just don't see them anymore. This was basically next door from that bar. Isn't that great? So young people who have never experienced all the fun of photo cabins, do you remember, my friends? Taking photos with your mates back then. So some guy has prepared this, and I'll read what it says. It basically translates as, I am an old photo automat out of the 1970s, and sometimes I get a bit ill. Please don't be angry with me. Ring the doctor. He will come as quickly as possible. So the guy that actually has this thing, he's probably bought it cheap and fixed it up, and he's put it in this public place where all these young people, come drinking, so they can experience the fun that we had. If the young people don't have as much patience as we did, if the machine goes a bit on the blink, they can ring him and he'll come out and fix it. I think that's a great idea. I think that's fantastic. Wonderful items of nostalgia, aren't they? And here we have the Gallery of Rogues. all the young people who have had their photos taken. He's put them up there. I think that's great, so they can check themselves out like a week later. And there we are. There's the old rotating stool that we remember so well. And I like that. Somebody has put, yep, this one's going in my Cute People album. Isn't that great? Graffitied modern style. Even the ones in our day were graffitied, weren't they? Can you see that on the right? You have a modern option of paying. You can pay, with credit card or with online banking. I like this. This is a beer tasting edition 2024. 12 different European beer specialities. That is great. Of course, I did buy it. It's like those Kellogg's variety packs. Do you remember those? They've still got them today. Here we are in the German city of Waldshut. Waldshut. Look at that. Some poor girl about 15 years ago fell to her death from there. She was sitting on top of the railings with friends, and I don't know what happened, whether she sort of fell backwards or one of them, was playing around and pushed her backwards, but she fell all the way down there. Horrible. Gorgeous town. No cars allowed to drive through. They can actually drive across there, as you can see there in the background, but it's pedestrian only, which is fantastic. Gorgeous old architecture with the German flag there proudly hanging out. We've been here many times over the years, but I haven't filmed it for you guys before. This restaurant I used to go to a lot years ago. Just don't get the time to get here anymore. But they used to have a Schlemmer Frühstück, which was like a gourmet breakfast. It was massive. It was huge. And it was cheap as well. You had everything on it. This shop here, look at the stuff they're selling. Like dangerous weapons, really. Would they be? Well, in America, you can buy guns and everything, can't you, over the counter? Here we have some German t-shirts. The Bundeswehr. Yeah, and it was a gorgeous day again. I do like when it's a nice day. And for the Americans, we have Route 66. This is like a military shop. You can buy sort of military gear. So while we were in the area, we decided to visit the octogenarian, who has an amazing old curiosity shop very nearby to that town. And this is it. Many moons ago, I did a very long video featuring this shop before he had a big fire. Or was it after? I'm not quite sure now. Many of my old subscribers would remember it, but here we are again. He's still alive, amazingly. And for those of you who've never seen this shop before, you are in for a treat, if you love antiques and junk, that is. Here we are. Let's have a look. He's a lovely old guy. I really do have a lot of time for him. Unfortunately, I don't get to see him that often. But he gives you basically these big torches. Me and Odette were given one each, and you go around because some of the building doesn't have electricity anymore because of the fire. He lost about 1.4 tons of antiques. And believe you me, he's filled it back up again with even more, if that's possible. The uppermost floor you cannot even get access to anymore because of the staircase. Not that the staircase isn't stable, but there you can see he's filled it full of stuff. You can't get up there anymore. He's got all sorts of glass trinkets on the stairs. He said you better not go up there. Oh my goodness. A lot of the stuff you can't reach. You cannot access, so it's probably been there for decades. Like these pictures up there. You can't get to them anymore. I don't know how. Probably in the early days he put them up there. But it's just amazing. It's amazing. I did manage to buy something. I will show you that later. And I was interested in some more things he had, but the price just wasn't right for me. Please let me know if you spot anything you like, or if you think it's very valuable. A lot of it is, he wants the sort of prices that he paid for them back in the 70s and 80s. And of course the prices have changed drastically since then. Unfortunately, he's still sort of living in the old days. $250 for that. Is it a repro? It's only plaster of Paris, by the way. So it's a bit on the money. Ah, we've just been to visit your mother's house. Yeah, he's got a right mishmash, an eclectic bunch of stuff all jammed together. It's been a beautiful old townhouse, this. Really would have been. Apparently he's got lots of empty shops in the town that were empty. He bought them all up in the 70s. He used to be a millionaire, he told me. Bought them all up. He filled them full of stuff. He said next time, when I've got more time, he's going to show me the shops. I've never seen them before. I've never been in, so I definitely want to take him up on that. Aren't these jars wonderful? For rice and sugar. It's just too much for the eye to take in. It's overwhelming. The video that I did years ago, I think I'll leave the link in the description. If I don't remember, please let me know. Oh, there's a weather station. Love them. Please let me know, and I'll put the link in. That video shows you a lot more, and it goes a lot slower if you have the time. Yeah. So can you see the sink? The sink there, when it was actually, a townhouse. This would have been part of the extended bathroom. And there's a room opposite that. I think I filmed it. You can't get in there anymore. You used to be able to, but he's filled it so much, full of stuff. Ah, a mouldy mannequin. I thought I would spot one while I was on my travels here. What have you got to say for yourself, Fräulein? Well, you were never any good at karaoke, were you? You can't even lip sync. Ah, my dear Mandy. This is Mandy Mannequin, by the way. Pleased to meet you, and bye-bye. See you later. Huh, nice outfit, sequins. Look at all the pictures. Look at them, stacks of them. Stacks and stacks. Is that the room that you can't get in anymore? I'm not sure. That's quite nice. I think it might be a repro from the 80s. Crockery, porcelain crockery. Lots and lots of it. Is that an ink pot down there? This is the room that you can't get in anymore. Used to be able to, as you can see. Oh dear. Yeah, you've got to be really careful where you're walking. You've got like a tiny little narrow way to wend your way through, and it's very dangerous. He's always got like crockery underneath your feet. So this looks like ivory, doesn't it? That's actually illegal. Look at the size of that tusk. That looks like an elephant tusk. Another one. I'm pretty sure that is illegal unless it's an antique over 100 years old and has a certificate stating that. Huge fines here in Switzerland if you get caught with that. Perhaps he has a certificate stating its age. Oh look, mother of pearl opera glasses and knickknacks. Can you see in the background? That could be fake though. It could be sort of bone or plastic in the background, but those look like real tusks there on the left. So what else do we have? CDs that nobody wants. Although CDs are coming back into fashion now. On eBay, lots of CD players are being sold for quite high prices from the 90s. There's just so much stuff you just can't even get through it. And some of the stuff, as I said before, is just not reachable anymore. Look at all the beer krugs. Wow. Lots and lots. Beer. Uberalles. Beer, beer, beer. As you can tell, I am fond of beer. Lamps. Enough to light the world with love. Kitschy drink glasses. Looks like a German uniform there, and an orb just floated past. Probably a haunted object, waiting for someone to take it home so they can haunt their house. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Come and buy pictures. Now that caught my eye. Alberto Vargas. He was, of course, a pin-up illustrator. Illustrated for Playboy, very famous, and he was telling me that he bought these from the widow of a friend. This guy would every month buy one from America. The total cost, including shipping, tax, framing, was about $5,000, and he did that every month. And after he died, this antique shop owner bought the whole collection. Many have been sold. I was thinking about buying them, but I have to be able to resell. I have to be able to make a profit, and there was no profit in it for me because he was selling it at the market price, which is fair enough for those, who want to hang it in their home. They're already framed, but I decided not. I can't keep it. I don't want to keep it. I wanted to resell it. There you go. Very nice. I think he had about 4 of them. In total, he had about 20 and has sold the rest. Yeah, I understand the owner. He just wants to get his money back. So there we go. It's a signed lithograph, limited edition of 200. The glass is dirty, of course. Very nice, if you like pin-ups. Here we have some dollhouse, crockery, furniture, etc. and other knick-knacks. Do you like knick-knacks? I do, but not all of them. That is my new saying. Do you like knick-knacks? Because no one will understand what you're saying. What? Look at all these pictures. You can't even get to the bottom of them anymore. There's just so many. Probably when they do a big clear out of the shop after his death, they may find some masterpieces. German uniform at the front there. I'm not sure what the one at the back is. An old portrait there. Again, you always have to look down. Not that you're standing on a mice and tea service, as we carefully and gingerly make our way through the old curiosity shop. Religious paraphernalia, which was very popular in the West of a bygone era. Now religion is dissolving in the West, and they are bringing in a new one from the East, and I will be a part of neither. That's a lovely clock. That is nice. I do like clocks with an original painting attached. Again, look down so I don't trip and fall and break my neck. And if I did, you would not hear or see this video.
Down the rabbit hole.
More knickknacks. Do you like knickknacks? I do. Creepy dolls. My God, there's a Barbara Streisand doll, isn't it? Almost. Who does that look like? What was Brad Pitt's ex-wife, Jennifer Aniston? That was a Jennifer Aniston doll, wasn't it? So, more pictures, more crockery, more knickknacks, and more crap. And there's some good stuff mixed in. I am sure, I am positive. But there's so many pictures, look at them. Oh my goodness. The carpet needs a good steam clean, doesn't it? We won't say any more. Trinkets and stuff hanging up everywhere. Every inch of space has been used. Right at the end there, we have a little chat with the old guy outside. And I will give you a translation of what he is saying. Dirty glass cabinets. Are those, what do you call them, those little porcelain, I've forgotten the name of them now. They used to be very collectible about 30, 40 years ago. And they were fetching a pretty penny as well. Grandfather clock. Is that one of those hairdresser heads from the 80s? Do you remember those? Look at the little guy at the back there between all the video cassettes. Probably been there since the 80s. And more creepy dolls to finish off. Okay, he's coming up now and I'll give you a quick translation. See you on the other side. Bye bye, creepy dolls.
Also ich habe schon ein bewegtes Leben hinter mir mit Höhen und Tiefen.
Darf ich auch ein Bild von Sie?
Ja, aber so schön bin ich nicht.
Ja, Sie sind sehr hübsch, Herr Kipper. Ein Leben.
Ja.
Up and down. So what he's saying is that he's had a very busy life with ups and downs, as the title there says, ein Leben, up and down, a life up and down. He told me, and it's no secret, I'm not betraying any secret, that he used to be a millionaire. That's how he bought all the other properties in the town, and he lost it all gambling. So there you are, any gambling addicted persons out there, you're not meant to win. They're not going to let you win. They'll give you little bits here and there, but in the long run, you're going to lose out, as he can testify. But a lovely bloke with a big heart. He's just sort of living from, the money that people spend in the shop. So I always try and buy something, and everyone knows him. They always come in, pop in and see how he's going. And yeah, I mean, the properties are worth a bit if he would sell up, but he won't. He will probably die in the shop or at home, but he'll never give the shop up. This is his life, and he loves it. And they're doing now sort of, I think they're going to do a documentary about him. They've already done these newspaper reports, as you can see. But yeah, I mean, not only is his shop a curiosity, but he is a curiosity. And I do hope he lives for a long time so that I can go and visit him. It's nice to have a chat with him on a sunny day outside. And yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed the tour, my friends. Look forward to any questions, or if you want to tell me something about an item that you have seen. So underneath the title, it basically says that his shop in the heyday was full of artists and celebrities, prominent people, and he had lots of money, cars, and women. The women were all around him, and yeah, he's living from those memories today. But he's still enjoying himself, and he is much loved by the townspeople. Coming up now is a car that I spotted. I spoke to the owner, a lovely man. Now this car is French, of course. It's a Renault, and it's absolutely beautiful. He paid about $14,000 for it 20 odd years ago, and he said it's still only worth about that much. The reason is it's just not one of the popular makes, and mostly because no one really knows about it. There wasn't that many made. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love that 60s design, that very sort of sleek design. There's nothing fancy on there. I love it. I really would buy that car off him. Oh my goodness. He doesn't want to sell it. And he goes, he doesn't care that he's not going to make a profit because he never intends to sell it. He enjoys it. Isn't that beautiful? Renault, France. And I've never seen that model before, I must admit. So that is why I had to go and talk to him. If you're into cars, tell me what you think about that. It's not sort of, a high-powered car. It's what we would call here in the German language a Flitzer. It's for sort of gadding about on a summer's day. A male or female would be most suited to this car. It's unisex and it's sexy. That car is sexy. Look at the wheels. Look at the gorgeous color. Look at the design. It is just gorgeousness on wheels. I hope you've enjoyed it, my dear friends. And coming up soon is going to be another cemetery tour plus a new fantastic ancient chateau. Think it's haunted. Haven't checked it to see if I picked up any EVPs, but definitely felt spirit presences. See you soon. Bye-bye. By the way, coming next weekend is the last of the Halloween presentations. 3 in total. If you've missed the first 2, I'm showing the thumbnails here. Check them out on my YouTube channel. I'll now include the trailer for the 3rd and last one. Don't miss it, my friends. It's going to be a spooky weekend. Take care, my friends. God bless and bye-bye. Police in Russia, in the region of Nizhny Novgorod and the surrounding area, kept getting reports from members of the public about damage to their loved ones' graves. They naturally assumed it was just teenage vandals and didn't bother following up on it. Problem was, the reports kept coming in. They also kept mentioning seeing a strange fellow wandering around the graveyards, and even sometimes sleeping there. When this man was questioned, it turns out that he was an academic who was researching and documenting cemeteries around Russia. His explanation and credentials was very plausible, and so they let him go. Eventually, though, he was caught in the act of damaging graves, and the police accompanied him to his apartment. What they witnessed there, they will never forget to their dying day. If you know of this case already, I guarantee you I will have more information you haven't heard. I have researched Russian sites for additional facts. And for my Patreon members and for those considering becoming a Patreon member, this Sunday, the 20th of October, premiering a documentary about 2 of the most haunted chateaux in France. It's spooky, it's Halloween, it's perfect for Halloween. These are, by the way, true accounts of documented paranormal phenomena that has occurred in these chateaux, and I know those who love the horror genre will love it. Coming up is the trailer for it. Wishing you a wonderful weekend and hauntingly yours, Oddie. Bye-bye, my friends. Ghosts are everywhere, and perhaps even more likely to be found in the very ancient castles scattered throughout France. Could you imagine what stories could be told if only those old stones could talk? To those who have the sensitivity to hear, of course. Disembodied entities inhabit old buildings because they are unable or unwilling to move on after their physical passing. There are souls who may not realize they have died, and have never left the stratified energy field between Earth and the other dimensional frequency planes. Even if these souls manage to move on to the next stage of their existence, many have left behind residual emotions, feelings and/or traumatic situations that still have remnants of energy that emanate from the walls which have absorbed them. In this presentation, I chose two of the more interesting ghost stories from French chateaus, investigations into which paranormal experts had validated as being unexplained.